Alright, so before you start, I just wanted to give a little disclaimer. Some of these reviews have spoilers, some don't. So proceed with caution. Hello, how are you? I'm Julia, and for this video, I'm going to be talking about the standalones that I've read since the year started. I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only read 15 books this year. I'm on track though. I'm one book ahead of schedule for my reading Goodreads challenge, which is nice. Because my challenge is 70 this year. I dropped it down because I think 2020 was like 100 and I read 106, and then last year it was 75 and I barely did it. So I'm trying to go easier on myself this year though, so because I burnt myself out. So anyway, the first one, I didn't give this one a review. It's To Make Monsters Out of Girls by Amanda Lovelace. I think I read these out of order. So I read this one is the first one, and I think the second one, I read the second one first, and then I read this one. I gave it 3 stars. I'm terrible at reviewing poetry. I don't know why I continue to do it, but I still read it. I like poetry. I like poetry like this because it's easy for me to understand. I don't like the poetry that's like, you have to figure out like what's going on, and you know what I mean? I just don't like it. So I enjoyed this. I liked the second one better. This one is about an abusive relationship. So I believe she has trigger warnings in the front. Yeah, so there is trigger warnings in the front before you read it. But I did enjoy it. I like her at times, and then other times I don't like her so much, or they. I'm not sure. I think they or they. Sorry if I'm wrong. I will look it up. But yeah, so that was fast. I just don't know. I don't know how to review poetry, and I've read 3 of them, so I don't think this is a very long review either. So Big Fish by Daniel Wallace. I picked this up. I've had this on my shelf for years. It's like one of those books that I was like, I watched the movie and I really enjoyed the movie, so it's actually one of my favorites. So I was like, let me read the book, and it took me a little longer than I would have liked considering how short it is. But I've been doing that a lot, like picking up books that I have had on my shelf for a while since the pandemic started. So I was happy to finally read it, but I gave it 3 stars. It's one of the rare occasions that I think the movie is better than the book. In the movie, his son is like, and I hate to do like a compare and contrast, but that's what I'm gonna do. His son is he's very upset with his dad because this follows Edward Bloom and his son William. Edward Bloom is now dying, and in the movie, Edward's wife is pregnant, or not Edward's, William's wife is pregnant, and they get a call that he's like in the process of dying, so they go visit them, and they're gonna be there, and he's just kind of frustrated with his dad for telling all of these stories and being so over the top with them, and over time he's just gotten frustrated with the fact that he doesn't have any other stories, and he's not very like real with him, and it's understandable, but he's just kind of like, he's really mean to him, and I don't know, it's understandable, but I didn't like that part of the movie. He's much nicer to him in the book, which I liked. So the stories are still there, and I think in the book, Edward cheats on his wife. I didn't like that at all. But this is like the story of Edward Bloom's life being told through his son. So I did like it. I don't think it was as good as the movie. So, and I hate saying that, but I think my favorite parts of the movie are the ending, and the ending is different in this. There's a lot of things different in them. Like, there's obviously, and that's gonna happen because, you know, people get rights to books and then they change everything. I think the heart of this book is still in the movie, but I liked the ending in the movie better. I don't know, it was good, and I think people should read it and they would like it, but it's not something that I would like. Oh my god, I keep burping, sorry. It's not something that I would recommend to people if they were like, yeah, I'm looking for a fiction. I would not be like, oh, Big Fish, it's really good. It's just kind of like a book that I read that I now know about, that I was just like, okay. Howl, and Other Poems by Allen Ginsberg. Introduction by William Carlos Williams. I gave this 2 stars on Goodreads. There were a couple things that I liked in this. My Goodreads review says the only thing that was good about this was the introduction. And there were a couple of poems in here that were really good, but other than that, I didn't really like it. Again, another poem thing that I was like, Let's see if I did a review on this one. I did. So the next one is Fault Lines by Rebecca Shea. I think I found this on TikTok or Instagram or something, or it was cheap on Amazon and I bought it. I can't remember. But, this follows, what are their names? Cole, Ryan, and Frankie. So Cole and Frankie, they've known each other since they were kids, and Cole and Frankie, they're very poor. They like live in this really small town, don't have a lot of money, and when Frankie is 18, when she graduates from high school, she gets into this really good college and she leaves. And Cole is still in this tiny town, just kind of like being there and taking care of his dad and working, and he's a couple of years older than her, and he gets very insecure in their relationship and in her, I think, because she comes back to visit one day, and he knows she's coming to visit, and there's this other girl that's pregnant, and they kiss, and she's like, oh my god, because there were like rumors happening that Cole got another girl pregnant. I don't know if that's why she came back or what happened, I can't remember, but she comes back, she sees it, and she leaves, and she doesn't come back for like 10 years. 10 years later, she comes back because her mother is sick, and thus begins the second chance. This was okay. It was alright. It was okay. And it was, I gave it 2 stars because nothing happens at all. Like, so the second chance starts and you're like thinking, okay, this is gonna get good. But it doesn't get good. It just gets dramatic and it just gets stupid. And this will have spoilers because I can't not talk about the spoilers because they're dumb. So, something that's completely obvious, he didn't get the girl pregnant. He was just insecure. He was a man, and he was like, I want her to succeed and be happy and not be stuck in this town. So he lied to her and broke the girl's heart. Fun fact, she was pregnant. His actual girlfriend was pregnant. And instead of being like, I'm pregnant, she runs away to her friend's parents' house and gives up their kid for adoption, which is, I found it weird. It's fine, whatever. I just thought it was it was like a weird twist, I guess. It was a weird twist that I saw coming. I was like, oh, she definitely had a baby. And he reacted in literally the worst way. He was terrible. And she didn't even tell him. Like, it all happened so quickly. Like, she comes back, they're like, get back in their relationship, and then She leaves again because they argue about something, I can't remember. And then she comes back. And they're having, like, he's opening a bar, like, he's, like, taking over this small town because he makes a shit ton of money. He, like, rebuilds old cars, old classic cars, and his dad has died, so he's given, like, he gets his dad's garage. So he makes a lot of money. So he's, like, rebuilding their town, and he's building a bar, and in the opening bar day, the grand opening, she has a fiance that she is now broken up with because he's a dick. He cheated on her. This girl just cannot catch a break, let me tell you. And so he shows up, and he's like, come with me, Francis. And she's like, I don't wanna. And he's like, did you tell him? And she's like, stop it. And I think his name's Roy. I can't remember. I don't really care. He tells Ryan that she had a baby. His baby. And it's so dramatic. And then it ends. Do I remember how it ends? No. Oh, yes, I do. She gets pregnant with his baby. And they, like, see their kid. But they don't introduce them, which I guess is fine. I don't know. I just didn't really... It was just, like, a typical, like... Okay. A man reaction. And he was fine in the beginning. No, he wasn't. He wasn't, because he'd lied. It was just stupid. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand why. Why did you do that? Why didn't you just see, like, my issue is with new adult is, like, he was, like, I think, like, 3 or 4 years older than her. And they've known each other since they were children. Like, you would think you would be able to talk to someone that you've known for that long about stuff. But instead, he's like, I'm gonna lie to her and absolutely rip her heart to shreds and not be a grown 22, 23-year-old man. I'm just gonna, like, pretend I cheated on her because that won't upset her. Like, why? Men are stupid. Anyway, so the next book is called Call Me Athena, Girl from Detroit by Colby Cedar Smith. So I saw this at the bookstore that I work at, and I was like, wow, looks thick. And then I read the back, and I was like, this sounds interesting. And then I was like, oh, it's written in verse, so I can read it pretty quickly, because I was trying to finish my Goodreads challenge last year, and I didn't pick this one up because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to finish it, but I actually finished this pretty quickly, and I really enjoyed it. So this follows Mary, who lives in Detroit during the Depression, so 1930s, and she is just trying to live her life. She's just trying to fall in love and be 16, and her parents are like, no, you need to get married, you need to be an adult, you need to help this family. Her dad owns a store, and her mom is, like, a stay-at-home mom. Like, she takes care of the babies and the home, and she's also pushing it. And while we're learning about Mary, we're also learning about Geo, and I think her name's Janine. It's Jeanne. I think it's Jean? I don't know. It might be Jean. I might be an idiot. I don't know. So we're learning about all of them. Jean is the start, I think it's the war. So I think it's World War I. And Geo, so she's in France, and Geo is in Greece in 1918. So yeah, World War I. And I was kind of shocked with how this connected, because I was like, I didn't know why they were all connecting, and then it, like, one day, like, I was reading it, and I read a line, and it clicked in my brain, and I was like, oh, cool. So I really enjoyed this, actually. I didn't think I was going to, the way it starts and everything, but I thought it It was super good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how else to, like, talk about it. It's based on real life, and, in the back of the book, the girl who wrote it, it's, like, her great-great-grandfather and grandmother, but, she has photos of them, and, then in the back also, she has, like, during the book, there's, like, numbers, and then, not that page, this page, it explains, like, what the line is, like, if you don't get it. I didn't read any of them, but I did read the, like, parents, like, the photos and stuff, and what year it was, and all that. This is very shocking at points. I was like, oh my god, at sometimes, but it was very, like, you know, 1900s, early 1900s, it was shocking, to say the least, a lot of it. So, I did enjoy this. I don't know how else to say it. It's YA, and it's very good. And there's letters, which is super cute. So, yeah. I'm from Michigan. I live, like, a half hour outside of Detroit, so I was like, sounds fun to read. So, and it was nice to read and be like, oh, Belle Isle, I know where that is. So, yeah, I'm just getting nerdy now. Anyway, to completely switch up the game, I read Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. I was recommended this, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. But I read it, and I didn't hate it. I gave it 3.5 stars. So I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. It was fun. It follows this girl, which I can never remember anyone's name. Where's her name? I think her name's Ella. Lily. Her name's Lily. So this follows Lily, and she has just found out that her fiance has cheated on her for a very long time with his secretary. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get my revenge on him because I've been attracted to his dad for, like, our entire relationship. So she goes to his dad's house, and she's like, will you sleep with me? And he's like, this is not a good idea, but yeah. And it's literally, this book is just straight smut. It was a fun read. Like, was I rooting for them? Yes. Not much for the daddy kink. I don't really like it. It did kind of, personally for me, take away from the story a bit, but, if you like that, it'll probably bring more to the story. It was good, though, and I liked it. I liked Lily, and I liked Shane. Her ex-fiance can drop dead. He wasn't fun. I didn't like, there was a scene. I need to start tagging my books. So, okay. This conversation killed me. It was so funny. Because, okay, so her ex-fiance, I can't remember his name. I can never remember anyone's name. Max. His name is Max. So, he walks in on them. And she, like, continues. And his dad doesn't see. And so she's like, Max leaves, and she's like, Shane is about to go, like, down and talk to him, go downstairs and talk to him, and she's like, no, I'll do it. And he's like, you sure? And she's like, yeah. So she goes down there. I did not like this part at all. It made me very uncomfortable. So she's like, you cheated on me, and he's like, look, I'm not proud of that, but you just fucked my dad. And she says, yeah, I did. And he looks away. How am I supposed to know that this didn't start before we broke up? Hurt lashes me, flaying away what little guilt I feel, because unlike you, I was faithful. I'm not going to apologize. You hurt me when I found you with her, when you just let me walk away and things ended so shitty. I wanted to hurt you back. So you fucked my dad. I give him a little vicious smile, this part. You're not the only one who calls him daddy now. And he says, Jesus, Lily. This was so fun. I did really enjoy it. the daddy thing, I didn't like that. And the fact that she brought it up to his son kills me. I'm not trying to shame anyone who, like, likes the daddy thing. Go for it. More power to you. Not my cup of tea. I did buy the other 2 books, though. I think there's 3, actually, but I didn't want to read the Guardian one, so I think I got The Best Friend and the other one. I can't remember. I mean, you'll probably like it if you like that. Okay, so the next one is Little Pieces of Hope, Happy Making Things in a Difficult World by Todd Dowdy, illustrations by Josie Portillo. So this was started on his Instagram, where he just started writing things that, like, made him happy that day or something, and he decided to put it into a book, which I liked. It was good. It really was nice, but I think if you're gonna, like, write something on Instagram and then put it in a book, it should have been different. The layout of it, that's what I'm trying to think of. It got very repetitive because it's literally just a list of things. So it's like happy making things in a difficult world, and then he makes a list. And then he does the same thing on the next page. And the next page. And then, like, there are things like this where things you might consider doing today, and it's like things that'll kind of, like, uplift you. And then he does things like, oh, fall, this is why I like fall. And he does, like, special editions for, like, the 1980s and things like that. So I did really enjoy this, and I think it is very good, but it needed to be written differently from Instagram to a book. This isn't something that you're gonna, like, whip through. Like, this is something that you read a little bit before bed each night. So I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. Before I end this review, I just want to say, well, it's already over, but I just want to say I started this book when I was extremely depressed, and I was looking for something to make me feel a little better, and it really did serve its purpose. I feel like I kind of sounded a little harsh when I was saying, like, oh, it's something that you, like, only read before bed. And, like, it is. But, like, bed for me was, like, when I would think the most. So going to bed and picking that up and reading things and, like, knowing some things and being like, yeah, that, like, does make me happy. I love that. It did help. And I do think that this is it is a thing that makes people happy in a very difficult world, especially now. So I do highly recommend that. Like, I didn't want it to sound harsh in any way or like I was belittling it. I did really enjoy that, and I think a lot of more people should read it. I think it's very underrated, so yeah. Last book that I literally just finished earlier today is Drive by Kate Stewart. So this follows, are you gonna tell me I'm forgetting her name already? Stella. Did I say Stella? In the other book, I think I said Stella for Your Dad Will Do. This follows Stella, who has just moved to Austin, Texas, with her sister for school. She's wanting to be a journalist in music. And Austin is apparently where it's at for that. I didn't know that. I think this starts in, like, 2005. Pretty sure. I can't remember. But starts in 2005, and then we jump forward a lot. So she's living with her sister, and her sister works with Reed. And Reed is her sister's best friend. They work together. Stella needs a job, so all 3 of them start working together, and they're, like, constantly together. She goes to this like, paper called Austin Speak, and she's like, I want to write for you, and he's like, Nate, he's like, you don't have any, like, credentials, or not credentials, you haven't written anything for anyone, like, and your writing is, like, not where it needs to be for this paper. And she's like, please let me write for you. And he's like, I'll give it 2 months. Go, like, watch shows and write about it, come back to me, and then I'll talk to you about it. So within that time frame, he keeps hitting on her, and she's like, leave me alone. She also has just broken up with someone because he cheated on her. I'm just reading about cheating boyfriends. And she's clearly very upset by it. Not very much. That's why. Because she sees Reed, and she's like, oh my god, I hate this guy. And then she starts to like him. So they start something. And honestly, the best first kiss, my favorite in a book ever. Like, it's so good. I loved it so much. I can't even express my love for this first kiss. And then it all goes to hell. Because, oh, spoiler, I'm gonna put that in the beginning again. So, I didn't know, I thought this was going to be a road trip book, and I almost didn't buy it because of that, but then I was like, you know what, I really like Kate Stewart, I'm just gonna try it. If I don't like it, I'll put it down. It was not a road trip book. It kind of is, but it's not. So it starts out, and she's going from California to somewhere, I think Portland, and she's gonna take a plane, but she decides to drive. So she is playing this playlist while she drives, and every chapter is a song on the playlist, and it's part of the story, which I really liked how she did that. So that's what that is. And I didn't know that it was going to be a love triangle. It's not really a love triangle, but it is, because you kind of know what's going to happen. So it wasn't very, like, shocking, like, when we find out who she ends up with. But we get a lot of Reed and not much of Nate. I think that the last third of this book could have been Reed and Stella kind of coming back together after their issues, then Stella and Nate and Stella kind of figuring out who she wants to be with, because in the beginning it was very much all Nate, and she was very much like, I'm with Nate. Reed. She was very much like all Reed all the time. She wanted to be with him. She she was very in love with him, and I liked that. And then he has to go home, so he leaves Austin, and she starts seeing Nate, and it felt very reboundish. And then she's with Nate for like 4 years, and then Reed comes back, and it was just, it seemed kind of like unnecessary. Like, Nate could have been he had a crush on her, and that was that. And he was just kind of, it would have been better if they had a friendship than a relationship, I guess. I don't know. I did really love this. I just wish that Nate wasn't in the equation. So, was this awful? I don't know. I hope it was good. I think I'm gonna film another video, so you might see me in the same shirt. I'll probably change it so it doesn't look like I did that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these books, please comment down below. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Please follow all of my social medias that will be linked down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.